I'm going to make a pumpkin for Lori, a carved out pumpkin, and for that I have some tissue paper and I have a piece of tin foil. So I'm going to take my paper and I'm going to make it into a ball in the size I like my pumpkin, and I'm going to wrap it into my tin foil. And I'm going to shape this for my pumpkin head. I want it to be a little more flat thing. So I like that one. Okay, let's get on. I'm going to take some of my orange clay and I'm going to mix this with some yellow. Let's see, I want it to be half and half. That's around there. And I'm going to take some of my white here. So I'm going to take these 3 chunks of clay and I'm going to mold this all together. And so here I have the inside clay for my pumpkin. This is the orange compared, so you can see it's a little lighter. And I rolled this out on a setting 5. And I'm going to wrap this around my tiny pumpkin here. And it's okay if it overlaps, just don't let it overlap too much, because that will make it look a little bulky and annoying when you're all done. So I'm just going to squeeze it together like this and then cut off all this, and the same here, cut that off. So I'm just making sure it's reaching all the way around my tiny pumpkin here, and I'm going to smoothen it out as good as I can. So I conditioned my orange clay and rolled it out on a setting 3, and I'm going to put that around my pumpkin. And this time I don't want too much of an overlay, so I'm just going to cut that part out. This will also connect the orange clay to the light orange underneath. So I'm going to work this. Just keep on working until the surface is all smooth. I did let this rest for 10-20 minutes. Of course, it started to get a little sticky. I have this plastic toothpick and I am deciding for where the bottom and the top of this is gonna be. That will be the top, and then here the bottom. So I'm going to make some indents here. I have this knitting needle and I'm going to make the lines here, or the indents in my pumpkin, even deeper and bigger. So there we go. And now it's time for carving, and for that I took a picture from something online that I kind of liked. This one. and I'm going to make a carving like that. So I'm going to put that to the side and take my blade, and I'm going to, no wait, I'm going to sketch it out first. So I'm going to have an eye about here. The mouth. I'm okay with that. Okay, so I'm going to take my knife and I'm going to cut this piece out. Like if you carved a real pumpkin. The only thing is here, be careful where you put your fingers, because you might leave a lot of imprints or stuff like that. Still looks good. I'm going to take my toothbrush and I'm going to give it a little texture with that. Now I'm going to need a stem for this, so I'm going to take some of my dark brown clay. So I'm going to take a chunk of that. This is actually just brown clay. And then I have the rest of this, what I carved out. I'm going to put that in there and squeeze it a bit. I actually think I'm going to take a tiny bit of green. That's just a tiny bit of green. And I'm going to, what do you call that? Mix these two together. And I decided not to mix them 100% together. So I have this mixed thingy color here. And I'm just going to take some of this and shape it into a tiny stem. Like that. And I'm going to place it here on my pumpkin. Right there, taking a ball tool and making sure it's stuck. Like that. And I'm going to make some lines up the stem here. And here on the top I'm going to take a bigger ball tool and I'm kind of making a tiny indent. And I'm going to take a tiny bit of this and I am going to take my ball tool here and make an indent right there, placing this little thing. And I'm going to give it a little more texture with my toothbrush, and then I will bake it and I will be back. You can cut off the top half here right now, but I'm going to bake it first because then I won't mess up what I did here. And then I'm going to make the zigzag pattern into the top here while it's still a little hot. But I will be right back. So my pumpkin have been baked and I cut this while it was still hot. So it's like very, very easy to cut. And I actually don't mind the sharp cuts here. It looks pretty neat. Now I need to see if I can find the right way again. Haha. Okay. There we go. So I need to get all this out. So first of all, I'm opening up the tin foil here and just carefully pulling out the paper. There we go. So I have the tin foil out, and the top here is fitting perfect. And if you like, you can always clean it up a bit in here if it's not all that clean, if you don't like it. But that's actually all there is to this little craft. And I have a balloon light, and this is actually a light for a thumb chuck. So you can turn it on. Why is this so unsteady? And place it in there to get some light out of the eyes. I think the other one is better. This one is not working that well, so I think this might be better, but this is shining in different colors. And then the top on, and you can see it is like all different kind of colors in there. I like this. You could place a tiny piece of black something in front of this if you don't want the light to show through. I have this brownish one. It's called Cadian Flesh Tone. And I have my flat pencil here. It's all flat. And I'm just going to dip it into the paint and dry brush it on. Using it like dabbing the paint on, and then just kind of brush it off again with my fingers. Then I have this orangey Wild Rider Red, it's called. I'm going to take a tiny bit of that as well. Just like before, just a tiny bit on the brush and dry brush it on. It starts to look a little more realistic now. I kind of like the colors. You might use a little green, but I only have very light greens. No, wait, I have this one. Warbus green. Yeah, that might be useful. Oh, I like that. There we go. I like the result of this. So now all there is left to do is, if you like to, you can glaze it. I'm not gonna do that because the only glazes I have are really glossy, and I'm not sure a glossy glaze will look right on this one, so I'm not gonna do that. But now you can put in your light, and you're ready to go for Halloween as a outside decoration. Let's see if I can turn it on here. There we go. Place the top back on, and my pumpkin is ready. I hope you liked this tutorial. Thank you for watching, and happy Halloween.